What's up, fanboys and fangirls? Welcome back to another bonus episode of What the Fanboy. My name is Luke, and next to me, as always, is Tyler Davis.
What up, what up? And to my right is Brett Eitzen.
Oh, hey guys.
Never again.
I'm so excited for this bonus episode.
I really am, too.
Yes.
This is going to be the best bonus episode you've ever heard.
Is it our only bonus episode?
No, we have those Planet or Wizard World ones.
Yeah, that's true. We do have those.
And our
This is our first video bonus episode,
That's
though.
true.
Yeah, and we'll have more.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, yes.
Yes,
Throwing in a new wrinkle.
Yes, December, unfortunately, is incredibly busy. And so we thought we'd give Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse some very well-deserved special attention. So,
Yep.
Welcome to our Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse review. We will do non-spoilers, and we will have probably a couple small little spoiler things at the end. But
Yeah, I don't
this
think
is
it'll
going to be
too
a lot
much.
of fun to talk about. So
Too much spoiler talk, but
also, it's weird not talking about what we've done and news.
Yeah.
I know we're jumping right into like the main topic.
I need a weird warm-up. You guys should like do some push-ups. No.
Do them on the table.
Yeah, here, we'll just move
we'll
all the
everything.
stuff.
You just start doing push-ups, and we'll just keep the show going.
Okay. Well, I just finished them. I had Brett actually edit them out. So
He
got a
looked too good. His
Yeah.
form was too perfect.
but thanks for editing that out, Brett.
No problem.
He's got a good pump going.
Yeah.
So he's ready to talk about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Without the little cut in there, that'll probably be weird for YouTube people. But audio people, maybe it'll work.
Yeah.
That little bit I just did.
We've already lost all the YouTube people. It's fine.
Oh no, come back. Anyway,
I've seen other ones where they take 30 minutes to get to their video. It's cool.
This is true. We won't.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. What did you guys think about it?
Oh my god, I want more.
Yeah.
I didn't want it to end.
Right?
Like,
I was
as it was coming to a close, I'm like, come on, I'll stay for 40 more minutes. I can still do this.
I'm ready for number 2.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
sad when this movie ended.
I'm excited that they're making more within this realm,
The
though.
small little pocket universe.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which
I-
includes every universe.
yeah. That's weird to say, but yes. I'm glad they're going to do more movies. I think they already have 2 more planned.
Mm-hmm.
They have the sequel to this, and then they have the all-female
Yeah, the Spider-Gwen, Spider-Woman.
and Silk. Is Silk going to be in it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But-
So they have another 2 movies at least, maybe more. I'm sure there will be
Yeah.
more.
But-
But
Get hyped.
always.
Well-
Anytime Miles is involved, I'm hyped.
You got your comics.
Yeah, we
here.
have some Miles Morales comic books.
You got to show off our stuff. So, your stuff.
our
Your
fandom.
stuff. It's not mine. I do have a Spider-Man shirt.
I don't have a Spider-Man shirt.
What? This is my newest superhero shirt.
You should be proud of me. I didn't wear any sort of Destiny thing today, so.
You're wearing a Halo shirt. It's Bungie. It's the same thing.
This is 343 era. Although the Needler was. Never mind.
Yeah,
Anyway.
Spider-Man and stuff.
I bought this after Stan Lee died.
Oh.
Because I was like, dang it, I'm getting a Spider-Man shirt now. I need it. So
It's a nice looking shirt.
yeah, I usually just get logos, but kind of recently I've been more into actually like the comic
Covers.
stuff. And this one, it was definitely the coolest one I found.
So,
Was it soft?
I want to segue real quick. We didn't talk about this pre-taping on whether it's a spoiler or not, but Stanley's cameo in this. How did that make you feel?
So Stanley has a cameo. Yes.
It was hard to
Yeah.
watch.
What made it, and this is the part that I don't know whether it's a spoiler or not.
I don't
You don't think it's a spoiler?
know.
Okay.
Unless you like say the actual line, but I don't remember.
No. Like the circumstances surrounding
Why that cameo takes
why that
place.
cameo takes place, like double down the emotion for me.
Yeah. It was a great
It was a great cameo.
moment.
It was fantastic because
What was said was so applicable to the theme of the movie.
yes.
And I thought that was really cool. It kind of was like a gut punch as it's so hard to say without spoiling. As it's about to happen, like you see him a second before, and like you could feel, and at least in my theater, because I didn't see it with these goons, everybody like was Everybody
Yeah.
took like
Yeah.
a really big deep breath, like,
Oh my gosh.
we're actually doing this. And
Yeah.
so,
Mm.
like, it was a gut punch for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad that his legacy still lives on in cameos. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's always fun.
Yeah. But what are your guys like general thoughts on this movie?
It was just a ton of fun.
Yeah.
Like from the opening, even the logos kind of started with it, like messing with the animation and that style of the the multiverse to interactions between the characters. I thought they were all pretty well written. Yeah, I just had a blast the whole time. I laughed. Stanley almost made me cry.
This movie did make me cry, actually.
Yeah?
But I'm not going to steal Luke's because I know what Luke's going to say on his first general thought. But I think I'm the Miles Morales fan in here for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just glad to see Miles on the big screen. I was glad to see his origin story, albeit a little bit changed, not much, told. And glad everybody's finally getting a taste of Miles Morales because he's a great character who deserves more screen time. And I'm hoping with this movie we'll get to see him in video games, maybe in live action, maybe more comic books. It's really unfortunate Bendis is done writing this Miles Morales because he created him, and now he's getting movies because Bendis has since moved to DC. So it's interesting.
He'll be back though.
Yeah. But overall, I loved it. I really enjoyed, like you said, character interactions. I thought all the voice acting was pretty great. I thought the villains that they showed were awesome. Definitely some different takes on a few of them.
Yeah, there's a surprise villain in there that wasn't in the marketing that made me pretty happy.
Yeah. There's two.
There were two.
There were two that
There were.
weren't in the marketing that show up, and I was like, man, this is dope.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The story was great. The animation, which I'm sure you're gonna dive into. I don't want to say what I know you're gonna say, but
I'll just say it. How about?
you
Just say it.
This is probably, if not one of the, it's probably the most beautiful animated movie I've ever seen. There's nothing like this.
I think if you take this
Yeah.
and put it on a TV screen, that's what this movie is.
Yeah.
Like
It is just insanely cool.
It's with like the direction using the animation.
There's
It is
even-
a comic book as a movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's
And,
even
like, I said that-
paneling and stuff. Like, it's so awesome.
I said that in my tweet, and I was like, I don't know if anybody's gonna really understand what I meant by a comic book come to life. Like, oh, the characters were used so well. It was actually Spider-Man. No, it's literally a comic
Yeah.
book.
It's the art style.
Through
It's
The
like-
texture of a page
making
comes
this
through.
digital and just flipping through the pages. Like,
Yeah.
that's what it looks like.
like seeing thwip on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time they're shooting, like I think a little thwip popped out, or just having woo go up.
Or
Yeah.
even like when they dapped each other up, it's like dap. Like it
Yeah.
says it on them. I was like, this is so
Yeah,
cool.
every time the Spidey sense goes off, and then
Hearing Miles's thoughts.
Yeah, like no, this isn't puberty. It's like
what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I
the
doing?
the yellow inner monologue boxes.
Yep.
Just nothing's ever done that. I loved it. It's beautiful animation.
It's very unique too.
Yeah.
Little nod to something cool at the beginning when it's showing like the opening publishers. The Columbia one, the chick becomes like a comic book character and she's like shooting guns and
Yeah.
stuff. It's like, this is so cool.
Yeah.
And the movie hasn't even started yet. I was like cheering in my seat.
Mm-hmm.
But gosh, yeah, the animation style in this movie, super unique, super fun. When I read your tweet, because I read your tweet before I saw the movie,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, he nailed it. This is a comic book as a movie. As close as you're going to get to direct adaptation from a page.
Yeah.
I really appreciated. I'll go back to one of my pros, which was the character interaction. Like the Spider-Man movies, the Spider-Man movies that we've gotten thus far have all really been solo movies, and it was a nice change of pace to see. Yeah, this is clearly Miles' story, but like that, that.
Everyone gets their shine.
Yeah, and part of the whole theme is that you don't have to do it alone, right? Like, and so to see him come into his own via the either at first it was encouragement from others, and then maybe they kind of stopped believing in him, and then he had to believe in himself. But just seeing that interaction, it wasn't just like a rehash of what Tobey Maguire did in the first Spider-Man or
We did get
Andrew
to see
Garfield.
that though.
Well, yeah. This movie is surprisingly meta.
Yeah.
Like
It breaks the fourth wall.
it breaks the fourth wall a lot.
They're
Is he legally obliged?
Yeah.
Is he legally allowed to say
Can you
that?
legally say that?
Oh, that was great. I kind of like with the characters. I felt like no character in the movie just was there.
Yeah.
I felt like
they never
everybody
lagged.
had a purpose. Everybody, like you said, had their moment. Like everybody was there to help Miles.
Yeah,
Right.
nobody was spinning their tires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Even Peter Parker.
Had a purpose.
Indeed. He was great. by
Yeah.
the way.
He was really funny.
I love that his nostrils were Spider-Man eyes.
Yeah.
Like every time he was on the screen, I just could not look away from it. I was like, "This is awesome."
Yeah.
And I liked how he still had his own, like, his animation style fit in with the movie, but it was still very throwback.
Same with the girl.
Same
That's
with
another
the
thing. Yeah, all the animation styles that are mixed into this movie are super cool. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
there,
no,
but
you're
I
fine.
just was blown away how what's her name? Pip.
That's what I was looking up.
Pippi Pepperstein.
I think it's
Pippi
Parker.
Peter
is her name.
Pickled Peppers.
Her animation is like true anime.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is so cool that they fit this into the movie.
Yeah.
Like, I just blew my mind how that all worked out.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking up the name.
Who is it?
Penny Parker.
Penny.
Penny Parker. There
Penny
we
Parker.
go. Penny Parker was pretty dope.
Yeah.
I couldn't help but think of Overwatch.
Right.
Every time she got in her little mech.
Very diva.
Yeah. Should we, I mean, we've done nothing but gush pros, but should we,
Talk about the few imperfections.
the few cons we might have?
I'll go first.
You go first.
I have no problems with this movie. I've seriously, I could not find anything wrong with the actual movie. My experience, I saw it in 3D, and I don't like
love
wearing
3D.
3D goggles
Yeah.
or seeing things in 3D. I don't think it ever adds to my experience.
But it more takes away.
If anything, it will take away.
Mm-hmm.
This movie, I was so invested in it that often I did not care. I got used to my glasses, goggle things in the first 10, 15 minutes, and after that, every once in a while I'd notice them and then I'd forget. So, but movie-wise, I have no cons. And
So-
that feels awesome to say.
So from a everything like story perspective, I have no cons. From animation perspective, I have no cons. I have one con, but I would say the voice actor is also a pro because I think he does a great job. But there are moments where, now I know there's probably some New Girl fans out there, but Jake Johnson does sound like Nick from New Girl a few times, and even does some of the behaviors that Nick does in New Girl. And to me, like, when it would happen, I wouldn't see, like, I just couldn't see Peter in those moments. Like, I would just see Nick from New Girl, and I was like, okay, it's a small bone to pick. It's not a huge deal, and it doesn't take you out of the movie or anything. But if I had to had to list a con, it would be that I did get some New Girl moments in the movie.
I definitely feel like they wrote his version of Spider-Man to kind of be in that
Yeah.
To match him.
to match that kind of personality.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't. That doesn't take away from your con. I'm just
No, and I think it works to the strength of the movie. That's why I said he's also a pro, because I
Right.
think he does a great job. Like,
yeah.
there are moments where I find myself and I'm like, that's Peter Parker. And then there's moments where I'm like, that's Jake Johnson. But it, like you said, they wrote him that way for a reason.
Mhm.
And I think watching the movie, it makes more sense.
Yeah.
Because you get like this old beat down
Tubby.
Tubby. Like, I think Miles calls him the broke hobo Spider-Man. Like,
Wearing sweatpants.
yeah, and yeah, that was something I didn't understand. And
Aunt
two different
May
shoes.
has the
Two different shoes on. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
He has
The
one
joke about
Converse
his-
and one boot on with his sweats, and it's like, what? So, yeah, it's just that it's not. I guess it's not really a strong con, but it's there.
Yeah.
So
No, that's
if
fair.
you're a New Girl fan, you'll notice it. If you're not, you won't
Probably
even
won't. Yeah.
think about it.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Didn't notice at all. Don't watch No Girl.
Right.
I call it No Girl.
I've got two things, both related to marketing. I mean, kind of. So the first one is specific to me. I love John Mulaney, and I wish that 95% of his lines hadn't been used in the marketing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because he had like 2 non-marketing lines, or even if they had like done separate jokes for the marketing and then had different jokes in the actual movie, I would have been.
They did that with the French fries.
They did do that with the French
That was
fries.
different in the movie.
Yeah. They did. It's probably just a
They
Cut.
probably just cut it.
yeah, it's probably just cut scene. I'm
But-
trying to think, but yeah. So yeah, I wish there had been more John Mulaney in the movie, or B, less John Mulaney in the marketing, or just different jokes. But the jokes were good.
I
I
loved-
just seen them all.
His last joke that he had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one wasn't in the market.
That one wasn't in the marketing. That was good.
Mm-hmm.
My other one is, and it's part of it's not a con. It's a little bit like yours. Part of it's not a con because I wished we had gotten to see more Miles as Spider-Man. And this was the where we were talking about we wanted 40 more minutes.
Mhm.
Like, let's just keep going. Like, he finally has his for the majority of it, Miles has his powers. He's just learning how to use them, and he doesn't really become Spider-Man until the 3rd act. And I just really wish we had gotten more of that. And again, not necessarily a con in terms of for plot and story, it worked great. I just wanted to see more.
Yeah.
Yeah, Miles is a character that as you learn about his powers, you kind of fall more in love with him and you want to see more of them.
He's got
Yeah,
really
I
cool
didn't-
powers.
I did not know those were his
He's
powers.
dope.
I
dude.
figured he was just
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Mm.
No,
Mhm.
he's a little different. Miles is dope, and
That once I figured that out, I was like, okay, this is way cooler than I thought.
yeah,
like,
he's awesome.
it went from 10 to 11 at that point
Mhm.
where they started showing that off.
where you're like, oh, this is why Tyler likes him so much.
Yeah, and is it a spoiler if I talk about his powers or not? Because I mean, I didn't know that, but
I think both of them are or the big ones are definitely in the marketing that I can think of.
okay.
Now, maybe I've just seen a lot of
If
marketing.
you've seen Venom, you've seen at least one of them, because it's in the post credits to Venom.
Well, let's just do
geez.
our ratings real
Okay.
quick, and then we can just talk about some spoiler things without no filter.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hashtag no filter. Luke,
This is hands down a booyah. The most incredible animation I've ever seen, and the best Spider-Man movie.
I'll let you go.
it's a booyah for me. Also, I would agree. I think it is the best Spider-Man movie. One caveat being that you need the other Spider-Man movies to understand some of the meta, but I think you could still get away with this movie without having the other Spider-Man movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go see it. This movie totally deserves your money and your time. Reward these people so that they can make more.
It's also a booyah for me.
3 booyahs!
And it is
Dumpster fire.
It is my this movie sucks. No, it is my favorite Spider-Man movie, and I knew it would be because it's Miles. And I saw the reviews coming out, and I was like, "Crap, this is gonna be my favorite Spider-Man movie so fast." And I think at 30 minutes in, I was like, "Yep, I love this movie. It's booyah no matter what happens."
When we were out in the lobby,
Mm-hmm.
we were just kind of sitting there hanging out, and we were talking about how it's at 99% on Rotten Tomatoes. The reviews are so good, and Brett's like, I don't know, man. If it's gonna live up to that. And I'm like, I think I've just accepted that it probably won't. Well, it exceeded
it did,
all of
right?
that. I'm in love with this movie.
Oh yeah.
I want to marry it.
I mean, you probably could if you wanted to.
Can I legally? No.
I'm sure. I mean,
Best of luck.
who are we to tell you how to live your life, Luke?
That's right.
Yeah,
In
booyah
another
for sure.
in another universe, we just got to build the particle collider so you can.
I'm gonna need somebody to get on that because I don't know how.
Yep.
All right.
Booyahs across the board.
Booyahs across the board.
11 out of 10s. Fantastic
Let's
movie.
talk about
So now we can
Dim.
spoil things.
Yep.
spoilers.
Okay, so I thought it was really cool how it was Liv Octavius.
Yes.
I did not see that coming.
That came out
at
of left
all.
field for me. Tyler, was that super predictable for you?
No.
Oh, cool.
No. I did not see that one coming.
Also, I thought her design was awesome. Too.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
a huge fan of the way they used her
Mhm.
as a whole, like to the story. I thought it was great. And it's funny because early on in the movie, you see her, don't even realize it. You're just like, oh, all right.
Oh, there's the nerd
Yeah.
in the movie. The
She-
nerd scientist.
She reminds me of another character in a show I know neither of you have seen, called She-Ra. There's a character who's like the science character, and she's described as chaotic neutral, which she she starts off on the good guys team and ends on the bad guys team. Spoilers for She-Ra. Sorry, last thing anyone. We were in the spoiler section. It's okay.
So one person's going,
no. But she reminded me of that very early on. By the end, it's very clear that she's more bad than neutral.
Yeah.
But I loved the introduction of her character, how she was just like, "Oh, hey, you're Spider-Man," and
Yeah.
and I'm gonna oh, this will be very interesting, and
And then she quickly turns
And
to
then
like
she's
evil
just like-
villain.
oh, but we're gonna lock you down, and I can't wait to watch you die.
I thought she looked like Professor Trelawney from Harry Potter.
Oh, a little
Kinda
bit,
got
yeah.
those vibes too.
Yeah.
Like
Especially when she
big glasses.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the Grim.
So now that we can talk about spoilers, and I talked about earlier how they used Miles' origin story really well. The suit scene when he's buying the costume from Stan Lee.
Mm-hmm.
In the comics, it's very similar. Miles watches Peter die, and it's after he gets his powers, just like in the movie, and he's like, I should have done something. I could have helped. And so he goes and buys a Spider-Man costume and starts trying to be Spider-Man with no skills whatsoever, which is very similar to what happens in the movie. And then he gets the web slingers and stuff. But I thought it was really cool that they actually used the Spider-Man costume, not like a real Spider-Man suit, but like a costume,
Like a
you would
Halloween
buy in a
costume.
store
Yeah.
that came up to his-
Tied on the back of the neck.
yeah, and I saw the price tag on it too. I don't know if you noticed that. The price tag's on it the whole movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But-
saw it when he's standing on the side of the building,
Yeah.
but it's dangling down.
But
I
I
thought
just
that
thought
was
it was
really
cool that they really honored the source material. They even put Bendis in the movie on the phone. I don't know if you guys noticed
Really?
that. Yeah,
Oh,
him
I
and
know.
Like
him
his
and
voice? Or...
no,
No, just his name.
It said
Okay.
B Bendis, and then Sarah Pacelli's name is in the phone as well, which are the people who created Miles Morales.
That's awesome.
But yeah, they really followed. I mean, they obviously changed it because it's a movie, but they followed it pretty closely. So if you've read any Miles Morales stories, you've probably heard the origin. It's pretty similar,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and I thought it was cool that they were that close.
Mhm.
Does Uncle Aaron in the comic essentially...
Does he bite it?
Is he essentially an Uncle Ben?
He's more of an Uncle Ben in the comic than he is in the movie.
Okay.
So in the comics, Miles finds out that Uncle Aaron is the Prowler,
Mm-hmm.
and Uncle Aaron blackmails Miles because he knows he's Spider-Man already.
Oh.
And he blackmails Miles, and he's like, you're going to help me do my stuff. And so Miles has to help him. He has to be the bad guy. And then Uncle Aaron dies, and when he dies, he says, you gotta use your powers for good. You can't do this. And then so Miles goes on to be Spider-Man after Uncle Aaron dies in the comics, which is volume 3
Interesting.
of these that I don't have yet. But they set it up in the second one, and I kind of knew the story, but so it's a little different how they use him in the movie. I mean, you only have 2 hours to play with in the movie, so they wouldn't have had time to do that storyline, but I think they did a good job getting it across.
Yeah. No, and I was actually... They set it up interestingly in that, each of the spider people in their different universes have had
The Uncle Ben.
the
moment.
Uncle Ben moment.
Mm-hmm.
I just find that interesting. I don't know. I don't hate it. I also don't know. Like, I guess because it's faithful to the source material of Miles' story, like that's really cool. Like, not everyone needs an Uncle Ben, I guess, in my head, but
I definitely think
I'm just workshopping it right now.
Yeah, I think Miles is the most unique though.
Sure. Oh,
'Cause
for
his
sure.
Uncle Ben
Because
is
it is the villain. No, for sure. That
And
is
he's, like, fighting
really cool.
him.
And the Prowler's character design and audio, like that's something we also haven't mentioned. The audio in this movie
music
is
so
fantastic.
sick.
Yeah.
Not just
Just
the music, the sound effects,
Yeah.
and oh yeah. I saw it kind of coming fairly early that Aaron was
Oh yeah.
the Prowler. They set that up, but maybe that's just because movies are predictable.
Yes. So I didn't know the invisibility thing. I actually I thought when he was in the lab and that happened, I thought he like picked up some technology. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
oh, he found an invisibility suit. And then it wasn't until like he's like, do it on command, and then he's sitting in his room and he has his moment
Mm-hmm.
where I was like, oh, it's his actual
Yeah.
power. You know,
Yeah.
it felt really dumb. But
Yeah, he has Venom Shock, which is his electrocution,
Mm-hmm.
and then he has invisibility as a fight or flight response. So it's not like I can go invisible,
he can't actually do it on command.
right? Like it's a response to things, to his environment.
Uh-huh.
So like if he's scared, he'll turn invisible.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is cool because in the comics he's like 12 or 13. Like he's a kid. Like he does not know what he's doing.
Yep.
So
Yeah, he's a
I think he's like a high schooler.
High schooler in
like a
this.
freshman.
Yeah, I thought it seemed
So
like he
maybe
was a freshman.
yeah.
at that
14,
at a-
15.
at a boarding school.
Yeah.
I really like the action and the way it all
Yeah.
plays out in this movie. Like the moments, like they really do a good job of highlighting when something cool is happening, like something cool Spider-Man-y thing is happening.
The fight scene in Aunt May's house was phenomenal.
So
There was
awesome.
so
Yes.
much going on, but it was so easy to track what was happening and where it was happening. And then the added layer of the humor on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a serious thing, but then like Aunt May's coming in with a bat, like I said, not in the house. Boom.
It kind of this movie's action reminded me of like Mission Impossible Fallout. Fallout.
Foul.
Fallout. How in that movie there's no shaky cam,
Right.
which is a pretty common thing now
Yeah.
to include in an action scene because I don't know, it makes it more visceral or something. Some word I don't know.
Immersive.
Tell me how you
Sure.
really feel.
But like in that, they're just like, we want you to see what these people are doing. And this,
Yeah.
I felt like we're gonna draw this as clear as possible because this is dope.
Right.
So yeah, and then pop. It says pop there.
What'd
I want onomatopoeias
Yeah.
around me.
What'd you guys think of Fisk's design? He looked like a turtle.
He was, I mean, I know we aren't like adhering to actual physics in reality, but like he was larger than the Suburban he got out of, right?
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like his head was moving around a bit. Like his shoulders would be up here and then they'd be here.
Yeah.
But I didn't care.
No, I didn't care. Either,
Yeah.
But it was just funny to watch.
I think the only problem I really had with him was the end fight scene, in that like it wasn't believable to me at all that he would be able to actually fight Miles. Like even if Miles is untrained, like
Yeah.
fresh, raw, untrained, like there's no way he should physically be able to be doing all that stuff. Like he's clearly unhealthy.
Yeah.
And like he's someone who
Well,
has
he-
everyone else do the stuff for him. He's not like,
Yeah.
now maybe there's enough backstory there that I just don't know. Maybe he's bitten by a
Fisk is a pretty big Spider-Man villain.
Yeah.
sure.
He's a really, like, he's not just fat.
He's like big and dense.
Yeah, like it's not a superpower, is it? He's
I don't
just
think
he's
so.
No, but like you put someone in there
he's
like
pretty much impenetrable.
Yeah.
but like Dark Knight Rises made Bane realistic. Like you can, I mean, I get this as a cartoon, you can fudge
Yeah.
it a little bit, but like you don't need him to be a
A superhero?
like a giant square walking around who can then all of a sudden
He's a
do these
square,
moves.
Benny. He's a square. I even look like Squints right now. L7 Weenie.
Anyways,
Sorry.
I liked
that
I
already.
liked his character other than the end fight scene where I thought, how is he doing this?
Yeah.
What was your guys' favorite moment in the movie?
I cried during the moment when Jefferson is talking to Miles through the door.
Oh,
And I think that was my favorite moment of the movie, just because
that was good.
the movie's funny and there's a lot of action and stuff, but when the emotional grooves start to be hit, it's really good.
During that scene, I was wondering if Miles would have actually said
Something
because
If
his
he-
mouth is
yeah. Physically he can't, but would he have?
yeah.
I think he would have. I don't know what he would have said, but I think he would have at least responded. Because,
That scene was super sad.
yeah,
Mhm.
it was tough. And, again, they just did such a good job adapting the source material. With his dad and Aaron, they truly hate each other in the comics, but they love each other too. They
Mhm.
just wish, like, they hope the best for each other.
Yeah.
And Miles finds out that his dad was running with Aaron back in the day, and, like, that's a big part of the comic. And I thought it was cool that they, again, brought that in. They did such a good job. I think Bendis is probably sitting at home like, man, they killed this.
Yeah.
Because he didn't have a writer's credit on the movie. He was just an
Just
executive
special things.
executive producer.
Oh, well then he had at least decent.
He had some say,
on
for
it,
sure.
For sure.
But that scene is just so good. Like, his dad coming down to meet him halfway
Yeah.
where he was at. I just thought that was so good.
Mine was the scene literally right after. Where like
When he goes
he
to get a suit.
kind of that like little montage, but with that scene and also the music, but then it kind of hits Miles that Stan Lee was kind of talking about how anybody can be Spider-Man,
Mm-hmm.
but he has to be Spider-Man.
Right.
Like he's actually at this moment he's the only one that can save those other Spider-Men, get them home, and save Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And that's when like he's like, I have to get a hold of my powers. And he does. And I was just like, especially like the music really helped with this.
Yeah.
I need to figure out what song that was on the soundtrack. Oh man, I was sitting next to Brett and I was just like,
He was getting into it. I mean, I think I was too.
I was dancing a lot through this movie, I gotta be honest.
I started dancing when they played Biggie at the beginning in Uncle Aaron's apartment. I was just jamming.
Yeah.
I think my favorite moment was during the final fight with Fisk when he gets back up, because it was I don't know if it was actually audible, but in my head at least I heard Gwen say something, her line about it's not about.
They all
What did she
kind of
say?
say it's like it's each Spider-Man. What makes you Spider-Man is that you always get back up.
Right. Yeah, because right before that, there's like when he gets hit down, and it just reminded me so much of that, of the homecoming shot when he gets like the stuff, just the
building.
the building brought down on him, and he's like can't do it, and then he believes in himself, and he fights through that. But yeah, that moment of standing up, like maybe that's predictable, but that's the.
He
The
feels
turn.
all the support. Like, he sees his dad.
He sees his dad.
Root, and his dad's like, "Get up, Spider-Man."
Yeah.
And then, like, he hears inside all of his spider friends telling
Yeah.
him, you got to get back up. And, yeah, that
Yeah.
scene's pretty great.
Awesome.
There's a lot of good scenes.
There's not a scene I did not like in this movie.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's not a moment where I ever felt like, man, I wish we could keep moving. Like, I just wanted every scene to go another 5 minutes.
Who was Mary Jane?
I'm not sure.
What's her name? Gosh, she's in Fantastic Beasts. Zoe Kravitz?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, she's Mary Jane.
I thought her speech was really like
At the funeral.
at the funeral, like just
You're all Spider-Man?
yeah, like the speech
It's up to me.
plus the fact that it's
literally meant you.
it's the death of Spider-Man, and it had just shown the Stan Lee cameo. Like that was emotional
Yeah.
all around, because in one sense it's saying the Spider-Man that I grew up with is gone. And we're probably not ever going to, I mean, it all comes back around. We're probably not ever going to get that again. Because Tom Holland's a very different Spider-Man. Because the Spider-Verse movies are going to be very different, you know. And I think that's okay. I'm totally fine with that. It was just it was an emotional way to say goodbye.
Mm-hmm. I think something we really haven't talked about is really how freaking hilarious this movie is.
Yeah, it really is.
Like there was one point where I laughed way too hard and nobody else did.
I had a moment like that too. I can't remember what it was, but I started laughing and then I was like, oh wait, nobody else laughed.
I like shrieked one really loud laugh and immediately stopped because nobody else laughed, and I was like, whoops. But this movie was hilarious. Lines were so well delivered, I thought, and I thought like the jokes were really well written.
Mm-hmm.
They felt organic.
Peter Porker's last line, which was, "Here, take this hammer. It will fit in your pocket." And it's like this giant hammer.
Cartoon hammer.
That's all. That's all for now, folks.
That's all, folks.
I was just like, that was so awesome. I love it so much.
Yeah, there's a lot of good humor. Everything with old school Peter Parker is pretty funny.
Mm-hmm. All of the puberty.
The whole
stuff.
puberty scene is great. The haircut scene is fun.
Oh my gosh.
You don't get to like my haircut.
Hey.
The scene with Aaron and Miles is really funny. You mean like, hey? No. I mean like, hey. And then he does it at the end with Kingpin. I was like, oh my gosh. I did not expect that to be the way he would beat Kingpin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was good.
It just killed me.
Hey, officer, I love you.
Yeah.
What? He like gives him a hug and he's like, oh, all right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like, this is weird. Wait a minute, it's looking at me. But yeah.
So-
funny, super good.
Part of me wishes he could tell his dad he was Spider-Man just to see how that dynamic changes. I look forward to working with you, officer.
I love you. I
What-
love how he like was trying to make his voice sound different.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
sounded like an idiot. I'll look forward to working with you, officer.
Yeah. He tried to sound like an old Brooklyn dude. Like,
It's like, dude, you look like you're 10. You should have went up here. Look forward to working with you, officer.
So one of the moments we kind of mentioned before we started recording was at the end it kind of seems like Gwen found a way to open a portal to talk to him.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm curious to see if that's going to be part of the Spider-Gwen movie.
Mm-hmm.
If that'll be like she can talk to them and they'll have cameos or whatever. It'll be interesting to see. But Miles is laying in bed, right? It's when he's laying down and you see like a flashlight and then you hear Gwen's voice.
Yeah.
So
I think that means.
future predictions for that?
I wasn't sure if they were going to do something romantic in between them or not.
Friends?
I could see it
Tell me your
going
friend.
somewhere in the future.
Oh, I was actually, I would have had a con, but
If it had
if they would have like kissed
kissed
at the
there
end.
at the end.
They didn't. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Which is, movies need more friendships and less.
Yeah. No,
romantic
I would agree
friendships.
with that.
But I really liked their friendship, and I thought she was an awesome character in this movie. So I'd be really happy if she was in the sequel.
Yeah.
Not just her own Spider-Gwen sequel too.
Yeah, I think if they brought, I don't want to see all of them again.
Yeah.
I would want just a Gwen and Miles figuring it out with maybe some third.
Some new weird ones.
Yeah,
Like
well,
Miguel.
yeah, like
like
2099 Spider-Man.
right.
What if they have to go to his timeline
That
and
would
help
be
him?
awesome.
That would be cool.
Mhm.
They go to the future?
There is unlimited possibility.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
That's what's great about this.
So should we talk about the post-credit scene?
Yes, we
Sure.
should. What was the post-credit scene, Tyler?
Well, the first one was a tribute to Stan Lee that was very hard to see and read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it pops up with his glasses, and it talks about what Spider-Man meant to him and things like that, and his fans. And I was like, oh, this is great. Please get off the screen so I don't start crying. And
Again.
then again for the second time tonight. And then the second post-credit scene is they're in like this void. It looks like they're in like a void of space. And there's a female assistant on IMDb. They're listed as interesting character number 1, interesting character number 2. So this guy is talking to his assistant, and she's like, "I made these. They fit perfectly, and they're web shooters." And it was at that moment I was like, "They're not doing $20.99, are they?" And then it like cuts to him. He shows up in like, is that like the '60s cartoon or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he shows up in like the '60s cartoon. I was like,
It's the one you always see memed and gifted.
yeah, where they point at
Yeah.
each other, and there's like a 3-minute them pointing back and forth at each other,
Dude, I was
and like
dying.
arguing. about it.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
And it made me realize I'm so glad I grew up when I did, because when Spider-Man was talking in that old scene, it looked horrible. It looked like he had like 14 pairs of socks shoved in the front of his mouth. But it did show Miguel O'Hara in his suit before they jumped into the old school animation too, and he looked sick.
Yeah.
So Spider-Man 2099 will be in future movies.
Hopefully.
Hopefully he gets his own movie.
And I didn't realize that was Oscar Isaac.
What?
He was Miguel O'Hara.
He was interesting person number 1.
What? That's crazy.
Nice.
Oh, also,
He's definitely gonna be.
If you cast someone that
they're
big of a
definitely doing a
name
movie
for
with
that,
him,
that
for
means
sure.
it's yeah.
also all of dead Peter Parker suits. One of them was the Spider-Man PS4 suit. which
And
is
all the
awesome.
suits from the game too.
Yeah.
That are also in there. Yeah.
I hope. Oh, dude, they need to put Ben Reilly in the sequel.
I wonder how that would work.
He's the clone version from Earth 300.
Yeah. Did you know that Ben Reilly is a clone of Peter Parker?
No.
Yeah. He's a Scarlet Spider.
Cool.
That'd be fun to do. There's also a female version of a female clone of Peter Parker.
Mm.
And then there's a universe where Jessica Jones is Spider-Woman.
Oh, dang.
There's Silk they could do.
This is going to get real interesting.
I'm
folks.
willing to bet if they do 3 movies, the third one will be Spider-Geddon, which is a story I think they just ended.
Oh,
in the
really?
Comics. Yeah.
Is it considered good?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Then
I'm down.
So, I don't know. They're building towards a huge animated Spider-Man universe. I just wonder how long these movies would take to make, because this animation style is insane. Like,
Yeah.
I can't imagine it's a quick turnaround. Probably 2 years between each one.
Maybe. I don't remember when this one got announced.
It was a while back.
It was back when Phil Lord and Chris Miller were working, still part of the Flash, I feel like.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. Who knows?
Also, Phil Lord and Chris Miller, they're just great.
Yeah, they do a good job.
Yeah. I'm really...
How were they signed up to do like 1,700 things?
Lego movie.
Well, they're just producers or executive producers on a lot of
They were directing a Star Wars movie.
One that nobody really cared about, though.
Well, I know, but like, how do you still have the time?
I don't
They have
know.
good assistants. I don't know.
The Rock does it, too. They're just always in stuff.
Worker
Right.
bees.
I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. They're just on another level, though.
Yeah.
When it comes to animated movies, or I guess storyboarding in general, they're just so good. Are you looking up their work?
Yeah, but I don't like...
I was trying to see if there was a development.
I'm also just trying to see if they actually directed this or not.
No, I
No.
don't think they did. I
Okay,
think maybe
well, that
Phil,
frees up a lot of time.
I think Phil Lord might have got one. Go up. Keep going. Keep going. One more credit.
Bob Perschetti, Peter Ramsey,
Rodney Rothman.
Rodney Rothman.
So they wrote it.
I don't know how to say that. He did Puss in Boots? What the heck?
Well,
Who
he
was
had-
this guy? Oh, he did... Oh, animation department. Never mind.
Hey, that's still awesome.
Yeah,
So yeah, if Phil Lord would just doing screenplay,
Yeah, they had some time.
they had
a little more time, but still, there.
Well, that's done typically way before. I mean, on animation,
The dude agrees with me.
Yeah.
there's an ad that says it's the best Spider-Man ever on Luke's computer. Do we
But,
have any other thoughts, or should we wrap this up?
I don't know.
So these good people can go watch this movie.
That's right.
I can talk in circles about this movie because it's so good.
I need to see this movie again.
Oh yeah, I will be seeing it again. But tomorrow we're gonna see another movie.
Yes, we are.
If you're watching this on YouTube, our live show is right here also. We do a live show every week
In this very room.
in this very room on this very channel, Mondays at 8 p.m. Central Time.
Check out our channel.
Yeah, we do some movie review or trailer reactions. Most of our movie reviews are embedded into our episodes. You can go into the descriptions and look for just the different sections if you're really interested in just seeing the reviews. But we like to think our show is
It's fun.
fun enough to do the whole thing every week.
You can also check out our podcast on Google Play, Apple Podcast, SoundCloud,
Yep. All the podcast places.
all the
pretty
popular
much.
podcast places.
Yep.
Just search our name, What the Fanboy.
At What the Fanboy.
All one word.
Where else can they find us?
Find
Twitter.
us on Twitter and Instagram at What the Fanboy.
Yep.
Are we plugging our own socials?
Sure, you can find me at the boy one to THE_BOI_WNDA.
You can find me at Tyler_19_Davis.
And you can find me at Brightson
At all the places.
and in all the places.
all of the places.
Brett usually says that he didn't that time, so I
I
had
know,
to.
I'm sorry.
I got you.
Thanks,
Don't
man.
worry.
I'm glad you got my back.
But yeah, subscribe, like, and comment what you guys thought about Into the Spider-Verse.
Also, leave a comment making fun of me because when I bought my popcorn at the theater today, I handed the guy my ticket instead of my debit card because I was so disheveled from rushing from work. So make fun of me in the comments for that, please.
Wow, Tyler. Wow.
Classic Tyler.
Yeah, I nailed it.
All right. Until next time.
Yep.
See you guys.
We'll see you
ya.
guys. Hey, I love you.